This is Stefano, bassist from Aborted, and you listen to BODS Mayhem Hour. So check it out.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys awesome interviews. Today is a privilege and honor to have Stefano of Aborted, and they have a new album that's out right now, actually 10th album that's going to be coming out September 21st called TerrorVision, and it will be released on Century Media Records, and you want to pick this up. And they've been around for quite some time, folks, so they've got some great music out there, and plus 10th studio album, that speaks a lot of volumes for bands being around that long, in all honesty, right now. So, Stefano, how's it going, my man?
That's pretty good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Not a problem whatsoever. So, let's jump right into this. 20 plus years with this band. Would you say after that, TerrorVision, this album lifts death metal to a higher level of intensity and atmosphere and more brutality, maybe, possibly? What's your take on this, Stefano?
Oh, yeah. You said that. Absolutely agree, especially when it comes to atmosphere. We try to accomplish something different with this work because we've been playing what we always, loved and what we'll always love, like death metal, grind, you just name it. There's just so many genres out there. But especially with this new one, we try to, come up with something more like complex, darker, with more atmosphere, because we just didn't want to write another Necrotic Manifesto or Global Flatline or just Retrograde itself, because those were the albums that fit that moment in time in history, especially especially death metal. With this one, we deliberately choose to let the song sit for a while. For example, there's a couple of, especially there's a song that was in the works for 3 years, and we just waited till the right moment to make it perfect to our ears, or at least like done and ready to be recorded. So there's a few pretty long songs, and just like you said, and like I said at the beginning, the answer, there's a lot darker elements. So we try, and a lot more melody, I would say, just not in a cheesy way, of course, but we just wanted to deliver something different, and we hopefully we'll accomplish that for the fans. But I have to say the reaction so far for the first 2 singles are great, so I can't really complain. I'm actually pretty stoked about the feedback we got so far.
That's pretty crazy when you said you sat on a song for 3 years before it made to an album. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, we always had a lot of demos for the song, but every time that, the moment came of, like entering the studio, we were like, we weren't fully convinced, and we never wrote songs just to be there, just to be fillers. We always wanted to, like, a song, at least for us, to sound as killer as possible, just to, be remembered by the fans with riffs, and not just like a sequence of notes that could just be overlooked. So the time came when we were rearranging the riffs and structures and all. So we thought that the time would mature for the song to be included and featured in the album. So yeah, like I said, for most of the songs, we actually took almost a year to work on them, and there were so many changes and the whole evolution process of the songs. Like, we were constantly in touch, like day by day. We would send our songs like each other and we'd be like, yeah, this is good, but still, till we get to the final phase. And so, yeah.
Is there anything that's impressed you about TerrorVision? What's caught your eye about, if anything, that stands out the most for you, possibly, about this album?
I would say the way we work. We worked on the music, because, I mean, us living pretty much from every part of the world, like we have Ian and Cam from California, United States, Sven's from Belgium, Mendel from Netherlands, and I live in Italy. So we would just come up with some riffs and ideas, shape them into songs. But even though there might be just one single author for one song, like comments and opinions and just ideas would come from whole the band. And we also wanted to take a pretty long period during the tracking session just to work as much as possible on the song. Sometimes we would wake up in the morning and go to bed like past midnight just to work on, a given song. And also the way we decided to track the album, like Sven and Ken, the drummer in the studio in Germany, and Mendel, Ian and I at Mendel's studio in the Netherlands. We would work simultaneously. So basically Ken would track his drums to the demo. He would send the tracks back to us, so we would track the songs while he would be tracking the second one. And so this for, all the tracks of the album. So I would say the dedication and patience, probably this is the key word, impressed me the most about the work.
When you was in the Netherlands laying your bass tracks down and things like that, who produced that part of it? Because I know this has been separate between you guys. Who produced what part and all that stuff with the band?
Yeah, mostly Mendel and Ian would produce, like physically take care of the recording process when it comes to guitars and bass. But the whole thing was, guitars and bass were reamped, and the whole mixing and mastering process taken care by Christian Cole master from Cole Keller Studios in Germany. He also produced Retrogore and Bathos, the last two works before TerrorVision. So he was the mastermind behind the desk ultimately, but guitars and bass were done in the Netherlands by mainly Mendel and Ian behind the desk at the Mendel studio. He got a home studio basically.
But that's good that you guys work with the same producer that you worked with before, because he knows exactly what to push for you guys, and it's good to work with a familiar face on this as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He wasn't just like a man behind the desk, behind the computer. His input would be vital for some of the songs, if not for the whole album, and just not sound wise. It would help us a lot with a different perspective, just like a producer, like a solid producer would do. And we couldn't be happier than this. So thank you, Cole, if you listen to this.
How long did it take you guys to record the album, man?
Oh, the whole thing, I would say between 3-4 weeks. So not relatively long. I'm talking about tracking though. With the mixing and mastering, I would say maybe like 3 weeks more on top of that. So between a month and two, including the first moment we started tracking the songs, plus vocals and drums, and reamping and mixing and finally mastering, plus us listen to the first draft, and then till we got to the final stage, and then boom, done. So something like month and a half total.
Any songs off TerrorVision that stand out more to you on it, possibly, if any, maybe, Stefano?
Oh, that's a really good question. Easily enough, I would say the songs that we chose as singles. So like Squalor Opera isn't just like the banger of the album. Is a pretty direct. It got a pretty straight in your face kind of riff, but it also got a pretty melodic center kind of evolution in the middle of the song. Plus Mendel, so it's pretty cool. And what Sven did with the vocals is great, I would say, because he played with his vocals like so much, using different genres and style, which fit the I would say the evolution of the whole album. And I would also say TerrorVision itself with the help from Seth the Flash, and the third single, which should come out not like kind of shortly. So probably the third one you guys were gonna listen to, and the final one of the album, which is the final Absolution. So probably this four. The two singles that are already out. The third one is gonna be out in not too long, and the last one of the album.
It's like I mentioned earlier. This band has been around for 20 plus years. Do you still see this band growing musically, or has it just been more of a personal growth for each of you guys involved with this?
I think it's both. I think the band, like Aborted itself, helped us, each one of us, grow personally as musicians. But I would also say that like the members, like individually, contributed with the growth of the band itself. Just by shaping a different sound every time. Because there's also been a few lineup changes, but always for the good. I hope. But no, seriously, it's yeah. I mean, with new lineups and members, there's always new ideas, and so yeah, I think it goes both ways.
Do you do anything differently during the writing and recording process to help keep your mind fresh and open to not do old bad habits or not to let stuff get stale? Do you do anything differently to help you out?
I would just chill, pretty much any metalhead. I would watch TV shows, Netflix, and play some video games. I would cook. Like cooking helps me relax a lot, and it's also an activity which I dig. And so yeah, this not like nothing really fancy. Or I would just practice or teach lessons, like bass guitar lessons. So sometimes it'd be completely different from the music environment, but sometimes I would just stick with playing bass, just to warm up and kind of keep my mind focused. But yeah, sometimes I just like to take some time off as well.
What can fans expect at a show from Aborted who have not got to see you guys live as of yet?
Well, I wouldn't know. Just come to one of the shows and you'll find out yourself. But definitely a lot of energy, lots of headbanging, and we're also producing a live show for for our next European headline run. So we're definitely trying to do something we've never done so far when it comes to live production. So definitely come to one of the shows, because also the other bands we're touring with are super sick. So don't miss this.
We're living in the digital era of recording albums and plus social media. Do you like this that we're in right now, to get albums out quicker and plus social media to reach out to people who have not got to hear Aborted as of yet? Do you guys like this?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think there's a lot of people questioning the usefulness and actually help and push that social media could give to metal bands. And I would totally say yes, because there's a lot of bands and musicians that you just heard of or listened to because of YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. So if you use it properly and just not for spamming or just showing useless content, I think it's a really precious tool, especially for newer bands, but also for top tier metal bands. It's promotion. So if years ago you had to ship a tape that you would never know if it will get to destination, now it's just a link. But if you're not consistent with what you do, with what you promote on social media, it would just disappear in the ocean of thousands, not millions of bands out there. So I would say it's a really awesome tool, but it's just a means. It's not the ultimate goal. So you shouldn't see or view social media as the final reach for any band, and just a way to promote your music. Because I think that in the end, quality, good music, and good and tight live performance is always the essential elements for the growth and of a band.
In your own opinion, man, what does Aborted bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now? I mean, I know you guys are not inventing the wheel or anything, but what does Aborted bring to the table in your own opinion?
That's a good question. Yeah, definitely we maybe doing something that people never heard of, but I could say that the way we play death metal, especially with the last one with TerrorVision, I think it's pretty safe to say that we try different ways. So it's like death metal, but I think it feels fresh. So fresh with the F. So yeah, I probably tell people out there, even though we're playing death metal, we're doing kind of differently with this new album. It definitely bears the Aborted trademark. So I think I would say that.
I like this album, and I like the horror side to it that you guys brought to it. I like this a lot, man.
Oh yeah, we're all pretty much horror movie fans, so you can never go wrong when it comes to horror with Aborted. Like for example, Spen's favorite horror movies would be Hellraiser.
Nice.
I can speak for myself when it comes to those movies that I would say Reanimator or Return of the Living Dead, the first three Nightmare movies. But also, if we look at modern age horror movies, I would say that especially this year, only the last 2 years, there's been like so many good flicks. I would say the ones I saw recently, the ones I really, really enjoyed the most are The Ritual and Hereditary and A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Those movies were really like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Hereditary is badass, dude. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. I watched that during the U.S. tour, and I was like, this is really scary. This is just not an enjoyable horror movie. But I also enjoy like B movies, like for example, like TerrorVision. Though it's just a free, like it's loosely inspired, just basically the title and the whole like vision thing, but it doesn't really, it's not really content-wise inspired to that movie. But I also like this kind of B flicks.
The Nun looks pretty good. That's getting ready to come out, and the one I'm most excited about, and it's one of my favorite franchises, is Halloween.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Like they're pushing the whole thing, the new installment. So it's gonna be nuts. I'm really looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, I'm very anxious to see what they do with it, and I hope it don't get screwed up. But that's a chance you take.
Yeah. There's always that kind of risk. I agree.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So what made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you, Stefano? What was it said? Yeah, that's what I want to do right there.
I'd probably say that I had to thank my brothers because I was literally grew in a musical environment since I was in my mother's womb, because my older brothers would always blast heavy metal at home, and I just literally grew into that. And my two brothers had this underground death metal band called Goals, and so one of my two brothers had a bass guitar, which was a spare one because I got a new one. So I spontaneously, like almost totally randomly picked it up and was like, so what should I do with this? And I started like jamming it, and I really liked it. So, and I'm talking about almost 15 years ago. So I think I made the right choice.
So support-wise, is there a country or a place that shocks you or surprises you that you guys get support from?
In Europe, I would definitely say France and the UK or Scandinavia, like Finland. Like every time we go over to Finland, there was this tour where we started off with our first song, and people would immediately like moshing or circle pit, and we were looking, at each other and say like, what the fuck? But also, I would say the whole United States is great. I mean, speaking from our last run, which was one of our most successful U.S. tours, like California or New York State, and there's been a lot of. I mean, the one show that we had in Los Angeles was really good, but we also had quite a few pretty cool half shows, like we played at this venue, I think, Louisville, Trixies. But, so it was like a couple months ago. That was a pretty cool half show with Psychroptic. So yeah, I would say these countries, and we're now also like really looking forward to go over to Australia and New Zealand. So hopefully reaction is going to be crazy over there as well.
Trixies in Louisville, that's about 4 or 5 hours from me. That's in my home state, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever been to that venue, but it's super interesting, I would say, because that was right next to a strip bar.
Yep.
So
right next door.
You would see like the girls were playing, and you just like be okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'd have to like stand right in the middle of both venues, be like, okay, all right. Back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely like curious, but yeah, it was a really cool tour, and the bands we toured with were all super cool and nice to work with.
Folks, Aborted's 10th studio album, TerrorVision, will be released September 21st via Century Media Records. You want to pick this up, pick up their older stuff too as well. Stefano, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, this album? How can you do that, my friend?
They can do that pretty much from indiemerch.com, or heavymetalonline.uk for Euro customers, for European customers, or there's a lot of distros out there. And if you click on our Instagram page, on the header, there's a smart link which would direct you over to the website closer to the area you live in. So like United States in the merch, or this UK distro for European customers and fans. So
before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Yes. This is Stefano, bassist from Aborted, and you listen to BODS Mayhem Hour. So check it out.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Thank you so much, Stefano.
Thank you, John, for the opportunity. That was really great to have just few words with you, and awesome to talk with you. I had a really good time. So thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.